We've all seen the clip, the moment etched into the memory of every Sister Wives viewer. Kody Brown, the patriarch, the man who once promised to love and cherish Meri Brown forever, looks at her with indifference and delivers the ultimate, soul-crushing blow. I don't see value in us anymore. For Meri, and for millions watching at home, it was the culmination of over a decade of quiet humiliation, public rejection, and emotional neglect. It was supposed to be the end of her story, a fade into obscurity. But Kody made one fatal mistake. He underestimated Meri Brown. She wasn't finished. She was about to prove him, and the world very wrong. Meri's story wasn't a sudden break, it was a slow erosion. For over a decade, she was Kody's emotional punching bag, the scapegoat for a family in dysfunction. The first major fracture came with the move to Las Vegas. Meri, the legal first wife, suddenly became just one of four, isolated in a soulless cul-de-sac. The unity of the Lehigh home shattered, and so did Meri's position as matriarch. Kody's visits grew less frequent, his excuses more elaborate. Cameras captured the tension, the awkward silences, the distance between them growing like a toxic weed. Then came the legal divorce, a so-called selfless act so Kody could marry Robyn and adopt her children. On paper, it was noble. But insiders say that the moment the papers were signed, Kody's demeanor shifted. Meri was no longer an equal partner. She became subordinate. The public humiliation continued. Therapy sessions caught Meri pleading for affection, while Kody coldly rationalized his indifference. The infamous moment came when he told her he was no longer attracted to her, on camera in front of a therapist. It was a public execution of her value, a warning to the other wives. Step out of line, and this is your fate. Then came the catfishing scandal. Feeling alone and invisible, Meri sought connection online and fell into a cruel trap. When it was exposed, she faced public humiliation and, worse, family condemnation. Kody framed her as the problem, ignoring the broken marriage that had left her vulnerable. She was isolated, dismissed, and left alone in a huge, empty house. But Meri chose to climb. She started by building financial proof, the foundation of her independence. Her vehicle, LuLaRoe, a women's clothing MLM. What looked like a side hobby to Kody became the engine of her escape. Meri didn't just sell leggings. She built a massive team, mentoring and recruiting, generating income from her entire downline. Insiders say that top-level sellers like Meri earn easily into the high six figures, likely reaching 7 figures annually. She poured energy into her business while Kody continued to mismanage the family finances with Coyote Pass. For the first time, Meri held her ground. Her money was her power, her ticket out. Her success was visible on social media. Luxury trips, leadership conferences, and cruises, celebrations of her independence. Each post was a declaration. She didn't need Kody. And this financial power led to the ultimate triumph, Lizzie's Heritage Inn. Meri purchased her ancestral home in Parowan, Utah, a historic family property dating back to 1870. Kody and Robyn opposed it, framing it as risky, but insiders claim the real fear was control. They didn't want Meri to have a safe haven outside their influence. Undeterred, Meri used her own money and secured the property. Today, the inn thrives, a brick-and-mortar monument to her resilience and independence. Financial and entrepreneurial proof were only part of her victory. Meri also needed social proof. Isolated from her sister wives, she created her own network of support. Her Fridays with Friends Instagram series became a weekly testament to joy, independence, and authenticity. Through these connections, Meri rebuilt her world. Her social circle expanded globally through her business, travels, and retreats. She replaced toxicity with empowering, genuine relationships, showing that happiness doesn't need Kody's permission. Meri's exit wasn't dramatic. There were no slammed doors or tearful confrontations. It was strategic, calculated, and complete. Kody officially severed the marital tie on camera, giving Meri the freedom she had quietly secured over years. Her financial independence, successful in and thriving social life were all proof. She didn't need him, and she never did. Today, Meri travels the world, nurtures her child Leon, and invests in herself. Kody, meanwhile, remains in Flagstaff, financially strained and emotionally constrained. Every smile, every trip, every successful venture Meri shares is a silent, perfect revenge. She is thriving beyond his control. Meri Brown's story is a masterclass in resilience. Told she had no value, she built an empire, created a legacy, and reclaimed her life. Her revenge isn't malice. It's a life fully lived, rich with freedom, happiness, and success. Now, Sister Wives crew, we want to hear from you. Who had the ultimate glow-up? Christine, the romantic warrior who found love after Kody, or Meri, the strategist who built a multi-million-dollar empire under his nose and achieved total independence? Hit the like button if you're Team Meri, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. The Brown family saga isn't over, and we'll be here to uncover the stories TLC is too afraid to show. Everyone remembers that moment, the one that left Sister Wives viewers stunned. Kody Brown, the man who once vowed to love Meri forever, looks at her with a cold, empty expression and says, "I don't see value in us anymore." For Meri, and for the millions watching, it was the crushing culmination of years of quiet rejection, emotional neglect, and public humiliation. It was supposed to break her, to push her into the shadows. But Kody misjudged her completely. Meri was just getting started. Her struggles didn't appear overnight. It was a slow, relentless erosion, a decade-long series of small but cutting blows all played out on television. Meri had become the family's emotional punching bag, carrying the weight of dysfunction while trying to hold it all together. The first major turning point came with the move to Las Vegas. Meri, the first wife and legal anchor of the family, suddenly became just one among four, living in a separate house in a lifeless neighborhood. Her role as matriarch crumbled, and with it, her place at the center of the family. Kody began to withdraw, his visits rare and his excuses endless. Cameras caught the growing tension, the strained conversations, the awkward silences that stretched like an invisible wall between them. Then came the legal divorce, a so-called sacrifice so Kody could marry Robyn and adopt her children. On the surface, it was a noble act. Behind the scenes, however, it marked the start of a permanent shift. With the legal ties severed, Meri was no longer his equal. She was sidelined. The public humiliation followed quickly. Therapy sessions captured Meri pleading for any sign of affection, only to be met with cold, calculated indifference. The moment that shocked viewers most was Kody declaring he was no longer attracted to her, on camera, in front of a therapist. It was more than rejection. It was a statement. Her worth in his eyes was gone. Then came the catfishing incident. Isolated and craving connection, Meri reached out online and fell into a trap. When it was revealed, the scandal was public and humiliating. Worse, instead of support, the family turned against her. Kody painted her as the problem, ignoring the years of neglect and emotional starvation she had endured. She was left isolated, dismissed, and alone in a vast, empty house, a physical mirror of the emotional prison she had been trapped in for years. Meri was at rock bottom. Alone, humiliated, and dismissed, she had two choices: disappear into obscurity or rise from the ashes. She chose the latter. But her comeback wouldn't be fueled by pleading or hope. It would be built on independence, strategy, and undeniable proof of her worth. Her first move was financial empowerment. While Kody dismissed her as worthless, Meri quietly immersed herself in LuLaRoe, a multi-level marketing company specializing in women's clothing. To outsiders, it may have looked like a small side hustle, a hobby to keep busy. But Meri treated it as a launch pad for her future. She dedicated herself fully, hosting online events, connecting with customers, and mentoring a growing team of sellers. Success in a company like LuLaRoe isn't just about selling products. It's about building a network. Meri's downline expanded rapidly, turning her into one of the top sellers in the company. The income she generated wasn't minor pocket money. It was substantial, high six figures, possibly even seven, all legally hers. While Kody obsessed over controlling her and the family finances, Meri was quietly creating a fortress of independence. Her success didn't remain hidden. The trips, the leadership conferences, the rewards, luxurious vacations in Mexico, the Caribbean, and beyond were all visible to the world through her social media. Each post, each celebration was a quiet declaration. She didn't need Kody's validation or permission. She was thriving on her own terms. Then came her second triumph, Lizzie's Heritage Inn. This wasn't just a business venture. It was the reclaiming of her history and identity. A home built by her great-great-grandparents in 1870, it represented her roots, her lineage, and everything Kody's neglect had tried to strip away. She approached Kody and the family, not for a handout, but for support and recognition. What she received instead was obstruction. Kody and Robyn framed their opposition as concern for finances, but insiders say it was control disguised as practicality. They wanted her dependent, confined, and powerless. Meri refused to be stopped. Using her hard-earned funds from LuLaRoe, she secured the inn herself. The purchase was a fiat. Meri had built her financial independence and reclaimed her family heritage, but there was one final piece she needed: a supportive community. The so-called sisterhood that sister wives promised had long been a mirage. Janelle kept her distance, Christine was openly hostile, and Robin was manipulative, offering comfort with one hand while undermining her with the other. Meri had been isolated for years, cut off from meaningful connection. So she built her own sisterhood. Her primary platform became Fridays with Friends, an Instagram live series she hosted with her best friend Jen Sullivan. On the surface, it was casual, chatting, laughing, answering viewers' questions. But it was much more than that. It was a public declaration of autonomy. For 1 hour each week, Meri was no longer Kody's rejected first wife. She was simply herself, smart, funny, and confident. The series accomplished several critical things. It allowed Meri to reclaim her narrative, showing the world who she really was rather than the sad, desperate figure portrayed on the show. It also gave her a loyal following, a community of supporters who championed her and celebrated her success. Finally, it proved that she could build meaningful, healthy relationships outside the toxic confines of her plural marriage. Her bond with Jen was based on equality, mutual support, and genuine friendship, a stark contrast to her past experiences with the other wives. Meri's social resurgence didn't stop there. Through her business, travel, and public presence, she cultivated a global network of friends, colleagues, and admirers. Photos of her in London, on cruises, and at leadership events showcased a life rich with joy, independence, and camaraderie. Each connection, each shared laugh, was a silent repudiation of the isolation Kody and Robin had tried to impose. Insiders suggest that this social transformation was a major source of frustration for Kody and Robin. Their entire power dynamic depended on controlling Meri, keeping her dependent and limiting her influence. But with every Friday live stream, every social media post, and every business milestone, Meri was demonstrating that she was fully capable of living and thriving without their control. Her social success, combined with her financial and entrepreneurial achievements, completed the trifecta of her empowerment. She had money, a business, and a network of loyal, supportive friends. The prison Kody had built around her had crumbled completely. Meri was finally free, not just surviving, but thriving, with a life that was fully her own. With her financial independence secured, her business thriving, and a loyal social circle supporting her, Meri was ready for her ultimate victory. This wasn't a dramatic confrontation or a tearful breakup. Her triumph was quiet, calculated, and complete. She had built a life that no one, not even Kody, could touch. The final act on screen, the moment Kody told Meri he no longer considered himself married to her, was almost anticlimactic. To the casual viewer, it might have seemed like a devastating rejection. But for Meri, it was confirmation of what she already knew. Kody had emotionally abandoned her years ago. That conversation wasn't her defeat. It was her official release, and she handled it with calm strength. She had been planning her departure for years, quietly moving assets, building her businesses, and establishing her network of friends, all while maintaining the appearance of the long-suffering wife. Today, Meri's life is vibrant and full. She travels the world, invests in and grows her business, and nurtures her relationship with her child, Leon, and her partner, Audrey. Each trip, each business milestone, each joyful moment shared with friends is a testament to her freedom and resilience. Her social media reflects a life of adventure, growth, and happiness, a stark contrast to the isolated and bitter world Kody and Robin inhabit in Flagstaff. Meri's strategic exit didn't just secure her independence, it also dealt a powerful blow to Kody and the Brown family structure. She removed herself from the family's financial system, protecting her hard-earned money and creating a model of success entirely separate from the show. She left not as a victim, but as a woman who reclaimed her power, proving that her worth was never tied to anyone else's approval. Finally, she holds another form of leverage, her story. Meri has been approached by major publishers with offers for a memoir, giving her the potential to reveal the truths behind the Brown family saga. Her silence is a tool, a reminder that she could shape the narrative on her terms whenever she chooses. Meri Brown's journey is the ultimate story of triumph. From the rejected, isolated first wife to a financially independent entrepreneur with a thriving social circle, she has transformed humiliation into empowerment. Her revenge is not malicious. It is the quiet, unstoppable proof of her value, her freedom, and her happiness. Every aspect of her life now reflects the success she built with her own hands, a life Kody could never control, diminish, or take away. The question remains for viewers: who achieved the greatest escape from Kody Brown? Christine found romantic fulfillment in love, but Meri's victory was self-made, strategic, and complete. She didn't just survive, she flourished. And in doing so, she redefined what it means to truly win.